Title: The Strange Man. The flickering Christmas lights bathed our living room in a warm, festive glow as we gathered around the tree, exchanging gifts and laughter. The scent of pine needles and the crackling fire added to the holiday ambiance. Little did we know that a shadowy figure would soon invade our joyful celebration. A sudden knock on the door interrupted the festivities, and I opened it to find a man dressed as Santa Claus, his beard disheveled and his eyes hidden behind the rim of his glasses. He claimed to be my uncle, who had decided to surprise us with a special visit as the jolly old man himself. His presence struck an odd chord, but I dismissed my suspicions, thinking it was a quirky holiday surprise. As the imposter Santa mingled with the family, his laughter sounded off-key, and his movements were strangely erratic. Unease settled in the room like an unwelcome guest. As the night unfolded, the imposter Santa's behavior grew increasingly unsettling. He insisted on handing out gifts in a haphazard manner, his eyes gleaming with a disturbing intensity. Guests exchanged uneasy glances, and a sense of discomfort permeated the room. Midnight approached, and the imposter Santa's facade crumbled. In a twisted revelation, he admitted to being an imposter with sinister intentions, his true identity shrouded in mystery. Panic gripped the room as we realized the intruder had deceived us all along. I fumbled for my phone, my hands trembling as I dialed the emergency number. The imposter Santa, sensing the impending arrival of law enforcement, became erratic and desperate. His once jovial demeanor twisted into a malevolent grin as he tried to evade capture. The police arrived with a sense of urgency, their sirens cutting through the night. The imposter Santa, realizing escape was impossible, made a hasty attempt to flee. A tense pursuit ensued, weaving through the dimly lit streets, the Christmas decorations now casting ominous shadows. Cornered and surrounded by flashing police lights, the imposter Santa was apprehended. As the officers unmasked him, the true horror unfolded. He was a deranged individual with a history of impersonating holiday figures, exploiting the festive season for his sinister schemes. In the aftermath, my family and I were left with a lingering sense of unease. The joyous Christmas celebration had transformed into a chilling encounter with a stranger in disguise. The memory of that fateful night would forever haunt our holiday gatherings, a stark reminder that even the most festive occasions could become the stage for unexpected horrors. Title: Late Night. The office buzzed with the faint hum of fluorescent lights as I wrapped up my work on Christmas Eve. The clock on the wall showed midnight, and my thoughts turned to the warmth of my family gathering, awaiting me in the snowy night outside. Little did I know that the festive season would take a nightmarish turn. Stepping into the cold, snowy night, I bundled up against the biting wind, the distant laughter of revelers echoing in the air. The city lights glistened on the icy streets as I made my way to the parking lot, my family's festive celebration beckoning in the distance. As I navigated through the deserted streets, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness. A homeless man, bundled in ragged layers, staggered towards me with a vacant stare. Unease crept over me, but I pressed on, hoping to avoid any confrontation. The homeless man, however, had other plans. He began muttering incoherently, his eyes locking onto me with an unsettling intensity. Unease turned to alarm as he accused me of trespassing on his territory, his voice rising with misplaced anger. Attempting to defuse the situation, I calmly explained that I meant no harm. But the homeless man's aggression intensified, his erratic gestures and accusations becoming increasingly menacing. The snowy night transformed into a chilling scene, the air thick with tension. Suddenly, he lunged at me, fists raised, and panic surged through my veins. Reacting instinctively, I dodged his attack and sprinted towards my car. The icy ground beneath me threatened to betray every step, but fear fueled my desperate escape. The homeless man pursued me, his cries echoing through the silent night. My heart raced as I fumbled with my car keys, the metallic clinks loud against the ominous backdrop. I threw myself into the driver's seat, slamming the door shut just as the homeless man reached out, his fingers brushing against the glass. Gasping for breath, I sped away from the scene, leaving the homeless man and the darkened streets behind. The glow of city lights faded as I approached the warmth and safety of my family gathering. As I recounted the harrowing encounter to my loved ones, the festive cheer felt fragile in the aftermath of that chilling confrontation. The snowy night had transformed into a nightmarish ordeal, a stark reminder that even the joyous spirit of Christmas could be overshadowed by the unexpected horrors that lurked in the shadows. Title: The Creepy Relative. It was Christmas Eve, and the air was thick with the scent of pine and the promise of joy. My family had gathered at my parents' house for the annual celebration, filling the rooms with laughter and warmth. However, this particular Christmas would be one for the books, as a distant relative, Uncle Edgar, took the festive cheer to a whole new level. Uncle Edgar was a mysterious figure, rarely seen at family gatherings. He had an eerie aura about him, with sunken eyes that seemed to pierce through the soul. As the evening unfolded, Edgar's peculiar behavior became increasingly unsettling. He lurked in the shadows, observing everyone with an intensity that sent shivers down our spines. The turning point came when my younger cousin Lily went missing. Panic swept through the house as we frantically searched for her, calling out her name in desperation. That's when we stumbled upon Uncle Edgar in the dimly lit basement, his eyes wide and manic. In his trembling hands, he clutched a worn-out doll that bore an uncanny resemblance to Lily. The room felt charged with an otherworldly energy as he mumbled incoherently, muttering about some dark ritual to preserve the Christmas spirit forever. It was a scene straight out of a horror movie, and the atmosphere became palpably tense. Realizing the gravity of the situation, we quickly called the police, who arrived at the scene with a sense of urgency. Uncle Edgar resisted their attempts to detain him, his eerie laughter echoing through the house. The officers, visibly disturbed by his unsettling presence, finally managed to subdue him and escort him away in handcuffs. As the police questioned Uncle Edgar, the unsettling truth emerged. He had developed an obsession with preserving the essence of Christmas, convinced that by doing so, he could unlock a realm of eternal joy. His intentions may have been twisted, but his actions were undeniably disturbing. In the aftermath, the family gathered to comfort Lily and process the surreal events of that fateful Christmas Eve. The incident served as a chilling reminder that even within the warmth of holiday festivities, darkness could lurk in unexpected places. The memory of Uncle Edgar's unsettling presence would forever be etched in our minds, making that Christmas a tale to be whispered about in hushed tones for years to come. Title: Santa Stalker. It was Christmas Eve, and as the snow fell gently outside, I found myself on a last-minute quest for forgotten holiday essentials. With a shopping list in hand, I made my way to the local gas station, hoping to grab some last-minute treats and festive goodies. Little did I know that this routine errand would take a bizarre turn into the unexpected. As I entered the gas station, the jingle of the bell above the door echoed through the empty aisles. The fluorescent lights flickered, casting an eerie glow over the shelves lined with snacks and beverages. I began to browse, lost in my own thoughts of holiday preparations, when I noticed a figure out of the corner of my eye. A man in a full Santa Claus costume stood by the chip aisle, his rotund belly jiggling as he chuckled to himself. At first I thought it was just a festive soul spreading Christmas cheer. However, as I moved through the aisles, I couldn't shake the feeling that Santa's eyes were following my every move. I brushed off the unease, chalking it up to holiday stress and an overactive imagination. I paid for my purchases at the counter, exchanging pleasantries with the cashier, and headed back to my car. To my surprise, Santa Claus emerged from the gas station just as I stepped outside. His demeanor was odd, to say the least. He approached with an exaggerated swagger, his gloved hands gesturing wildly, as if orchestrating an invisible symphony. Unease crept over me as I quickened my pace towards my car, but Santa matched my every step. As I fumbled with my keys, Santa continued his bizarre performance, now breaking into a strange rendition of Jingle Bells. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being followed by the ghost of Christmas weirdness. Desperate to escape the festive stalker, I jumped into my car and sped away, glancing back only to see Santa Claus waving enthusiastically in the rearview mirror. I eventually arrived home, heart still racing, and recounted the peculiar encounter to my family. We laughed it off as a quirky holiday tale, but the memory of being shadowed by Santa Claus at the gas station would forever be etched in my mind. It was a Christmas story that stood out among the usual festive cheer, a reminder that sometimes the holiday spirit can take on unexpected and peculiar forms.